So the idea of power wheeling. The idea of power wheeling is to promote competition. Obviously, this gives an opportunity for people to generate electricity and have an open access system where others can buy it, obviously at a slight premium because the distribution and other costs are involved. The other thing is why we have power wheeling is to ensure that the resources are optimally used, whereby we don't need to have power plants everywhere where it might not be feasible. We can have it in a suitable location and generate electricity and distribute using this open access scheme. And obviously renewable energy plays a key part of it because renewable energy systems can be very easily implemented. Even a 300, 400 megawatt plant can be done within a couple of years. Obviously reducing transmission congestion and supporting economic growth. So the cost adoption model, I mean, the whole idea of having power wheeling is to have an open access system where people have access to cheap electricity. So our idea is that this should be incentive based. I understand the Commission has to look at all the aspects of cost, distribution, all of that. It's the job of the PUCSL. But however, we should look at it in a positive manner than looking at it as a burden to the national grid. Obviously, there are burdens, but we have to look at it in a positive way and minimize the cost. Also, I would say now, the PUCSL always gives very good targets to the utilities in generating renewable energies and other coal-based systems. It is important that PUCSL can consider a target with the open access system, whereby we all know where we are getting and we can correct if the targets are not achieved. Also, the wheeling cost allocations for transmission and distribution, they normally occur at the low voltage. I don't need to teach electricity, but for people who may not be very fluent, normally if we have a half a megawatt plant, the chances of it going to the medium voltage is low, so it will be dissipated among the neighboring communities. So we have to be mindful of that efficiency aspect when we are looking at it, and also PUCSL should establish a faster allocation methodology that reflects varying support requirements. So what I'm saying is we can have varying wheeling charges for domestic, commercial, industrial, depending on how the Public Utilities Commission will look at it. So one of the key aspects, what we are worried is if you put the distribution costs, whatever the way, sometimes it might be cost prohibitive. Now, for example, the government has decided recently that for solar systems below 500 kilowatt, the payment is 27 rupees. And if the consumer tariff comes to 35, we only have a 7 rupee gap. So if the wheeling charge is 7 rupee, it is cheaper for them to get it from the utility. I think the Experience Commission can look at these practical aspects also when looking at this system. The other one is the cross-subsidy surcharge. Yes, the utility has to recover the consumers it's losing as a result of the subsidy system. But if we look at the problem we have here, the issue we have now is the subsidy system, where the high-end consumers are charged more than the low-end consumers, thereby we have a high electricity tariff. So industries are complaining that we are not competitive enough. So I think the root cause for this entire calamity could be the the cross-subsidy system. And if we load the cross-subsidy into the wheeling charge, sometimes it might not be practical. So obviously this has to be recovered from the tariff. So I think the Experience Commission can look at the potential of this power wheeling capacity and maybe revise the tariff system to reflect the opportunities or the losses that may arise as a result of power wheeling. I think I don't know if the cross-subsidy surcharge is put, then I think this wheeling tariff might be too high. Item 3, I think this banking charges, I assume it is with reference to time of use. Mr. Damita, is that correct? Time of use, the banking charges here. So I understand, obviously, as an engineer, we understand the banking charges must be there because during the daytime it's cheaper to generate and during the night time it's more expensive. But we have to look at it in a pragmatic way because, for example, if the cost of unit is 20 rupees and during the peak time it is 40 rupees, then nobody will go for power wheeling. So I hope the Commission can look into that matter and look at it in a practical way. I think the retail service capped by the PUCSL, as I saw the document, I think it's for regulatory purposes because nobody is going to buy electricity at a higher price than the utility will sell. So the key takeaway is allocation of realistic distribution and transmission costs, considering that the power generated by wheeling plants are dissipated without going far away. And also, I would humbly request the Commission to look at a target-driven wheeling cost that will incentivize the wheeling plant owners and consumers to look into those aspects. And I would say the cross-subsidy system has to be relooked at, and we can always look at the targets we are trying to achieve with wheeling and thereby change the consumer tariff system. Thank you very much for the opportunity.